Bhajahure Manam Sri Nanda Nandanaya Bhaya Charanara Bindari Bhajahure Manam Sri Nanda Nandanaya Bhaya Charanara Bindari.
Jai Srila Giri Maharaj ki.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai.
Well, I thought on this auspicious occasion of our very own Giri Maharaj's ceremony to mark the making official his new title of Srila and his position of Acharya of New York, New Jersey, and Detroit, that I would read a little something, a brief piece written by my senior godbrother who's here today, none other than Sriman Krishna Balaram Das, from an article he penned himself called On the Road. The article has been slightly updated to reflect the changes that have happened in the last 20 years here, and it is/will be available at scsmathnj.com.
And who updated it?
Yours truly will update it, has updated it by the time you've seen this.
What you're reading is updated?
Just a few slight changes.
And who has done that?
I have done that.
Okay.
That's why I'm reading it.
Okay.
The original version, for those who wish to read it in all of its glory, is available on one of the downloads for the Vaishnava transmission. Krishna Balaram writes, "It was the year 1984, a time of tremendous upheaval in the Gaudiya Vaishnava movement in the West. Basic concepts of our Siddhanta were being questioned and clarified, such as the qualification of guru, the difference between shiksha and diksha, and even the quote-unquote origin of the soul. The depths of the devotee's vision and faith were tested as great stalwarts seemed to fall, and substance over appearance became important guidelines. I was also caught up in these struggles, living in the brahmachari ashram of a Vaishnava society. Reading Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj's Chaitanya Charitamrita was inspiring me, and I was hoping to connect with a Vaishnava who personified the high conception of Mahaprabhu. By some immense good fortune, I first heard about and then read books by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. However, the local authorities seemed to feel threatened by Srila Sridhar Maharaj's teachings, which emphasized intense self-observation and humble dedication to those who actually were in touch with the divine flame. Seeing how Srila Sridhar Maharaj had the recommendations of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, I prayed for some contact with one of Guru Maharaj's agents. Luckily for me, I heard through a friend that a devotee who had taken sannyas from Srila Sridhar Maharaj would soon be passing through town. Several of us were searching for Reality the Beautiful. We made arrangements to travel from the ashram to the home of a devotee family who were hosting the sannyasi. To our good fortune, we were then introduced to Srila Bhakti Kanan Giri Maharaj, just returned from Navadvip Dham. His Holiness answered our question to everyone's satisfaction, clearly explaining the lofty teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj and the importance of applying them to our lives. What is it we are searching for, and how important is it to us, he asked. We all had some soul searching to do. Later, I was told that Srila Giri Maharaj would be leaving the next day on a cross-country journey bound for the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math of San Jose, California. He was looking for a brahmachari assistant or two to help with preaching.
It is not Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Krishna Consciousness Movement. Sudhir Goswami.
Oh, okay. Well, see, this has been wrong for 20 years. We'll definitely make that correction when this goes up again. Krishna Consciousness Movement of Bhakti Sudhir Goswami. And that was, in fact, in San Jose still.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He was looking for a brahmachari assistant or two to help with preaching, book distribution, and seva.
Still looking, by the way.
All applicants, please apply via the website contact. Book distribution and seva of Sri Sri Gandharvika Giri Maharaja, his worshipful deity. When Maharaj heard that I was an experienced cook, as well as attracted to Guru Maharaj's movement, he convinced me to travel with him and meet other like-minded devotees across the USA. It would mean leaving the ashram where I had begun my search, but remembering the expression of Guru Maharaj, no risk, no gain, I knew that this was an important opportunity, and I prepared to leave. I just thought this would be an interesting thing, even just an excerpt to read, because it underscores the fact that really that your traveling didn't start last year or 5 years ago, that you took sannyas 1981 from Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, and I think you told me it was 1983. You asked if you should establish something in this area. Was it 83?
87.
87. So from 1987 to...
Gaur Purnim, 1987.
Gaur Purnim, 1987, for all of our viewers out there. So this isn't just a new development, this ceremony today?
No, actually, yeah, I guess it was Gaur Purnim. Could have been Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Vyasa Puja in 86. I'm not sure about that. So I think it was. Anyway, either Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Vyasa Puja in 1986, which is going to be like November or something in 86, or soon after that, maybe February of 87. I'll have to check the records to see.
Well, over 20 years.
But in 87, in the early part of 87 is when I actually made the trip from California to New York with a few devotees that Sridhar Maharaj sent to help establish his temple there.
Well, that was the only reason I made the point, is that it's been a long time. This isn't a new development or anything, but today we are here to observe the desire of Srila Govinda Maharaj that our own Giri Maharaj be known as the Acharya of New York, New Jersey, and Detroit, and that he shall heretofore be known as Srila Giri Maharaj. Without any further ado, Srila Giri Maharaj.
Jai Gokananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurvabhishta Supurakam Guru Ganaya Rashisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Vedanipunam Shri Rupa Pantanugam Govindabhidang Ujvalang Varatanum Bhaktyanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishva Gurun Chadivya Bhagavat Premno Vibija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchanda Varanam Valarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Purang Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Sarasvatanam Varam Vande Tang Shivarang Mareka Sharanam Yashishvaram Shridharam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namaha. Gurvagam Sarasi Dritva Shaktya Vesha Swarupine Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prakshatarine Vishvacharya Kabarya Divya Karunya Murtaye Sri Bhagavat Madhurya Gita Jnana Pradayane Gaura Shirupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nashevane Radha Krishna Padamboja Bringaya Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. This, since first hearing about this charge given to me by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, in his will, he said about some of the different sannyasis in our mission, that they will be acharya of different places. And he named me as the one who will be acharya of New York, New Jersey, and Detroit. And here we are in our New Jersey branch of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Not originally intended to be a permanent branch of Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Srila, as Gokulananda Prabhu explained, Srila Sridhar Maharaj sent me to New York in 1987 with a small group of 3 or 4 devotees to help establish his first math in the United States, and that was to be in New York City. It would be also the first math, Chaitanya Saraswat Math, outside of India, except for a math that had already been established earlier in London, sometime a few years earlier. So I had taken sannyas from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, as Gokulananda Prabhu mentioned also. And at that time, feeling myself as the as someone who had a need to continue and to carry out the direction given to me by my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. I was distributing books. After taking sannyas, I was a book distributor in ISKCON before taking sannyas, and afterwards I continued that for some time. And also, Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave permission that I could accept disciples also at that, maybe 1983 or 84. And he was encouraging some of the sannyasis that had taken shelter of him, that had come from ISKCON, to make disciples and continue the work begun by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. But each of us, I think, gradually came to the same conclusion that I did, that what is the point of giving initiation to new persons when there is a much better, much more qualified person, an actual, in my case, someone who I knew was actually a Vaishnava of the highest standard, Srila Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. He was exalted in every way that we can think of for a Vaishnava. And in particularly by some great fortune of mine and others like me, Srila Prabhupada pointed us directly to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. You will, understanding the need for further guidance in our spiritual life, he directed us to one that he pronounced would not only be qualified to give us spiritual guidance, but that even he considered as his Shiksha Guru, and someone that he said, I need someone to consult with, but I have no one. But from time to time I can consult with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So that was their relationship. I think everyone knows it. Srila Swami Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj had a long-standing, affectionate, and intimate relationship. One thing I was reminded of recently, hearing Srila Govinda Maharaj talk about that when he was staying with Srila Sridhar Maharaj at Sitakanta Banerjee Lane in Calcutta, in one of the buildings owned by Srila Prabhupada. We had a chemical, a medicine laboratory, and above that laboratory there were some rooms, and those were given to Srila Sridhar Maharaj for an ashram in Calcutta. Sridhar Maharaj had an ashram in Navadvip, but for preaching he also maintained an ashram there in Calcutta. When very soon after Govinda Maharaj joined, he stayed with Srila Sridhar Maharaj in that ashram in Calcutta. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj instructed him to learn Bhagavad Gita from Srila Swami Maharaj. So, indicating here that Srila Sridhar, as Srila Prabhupada had confidence in the instructions and guidance of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and trusted Srila Sridhar Maharaj with his disciples. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, why he is sending his disciples to me? He knows I will not try to take his disciples and make them mine. That was different from some other experiences that Srila Prabhupada had with his godbrothers, where they did try to make his disciples their disciples. So, Srila Prabhupada had that sort of trust in Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj had that sort of trust in Srila Swami Maharaj. And gave his prize student, Srila Bhaktisundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada to teach Bhagavad Gita, to learn Bhagavad Gita from Srila Swami Maharaj. And this was a subject that they were both familiar with, Swami Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, because they used to discuss it late into the night. Govinda Maharaj said sometimes till 1 or 2 in the morning they would be discussing Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj knew what Prabhupada's thinking was about Bhagavad Gita, and entrusted his disciple to learn that from him. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj said on one occasion, I would never disagree with the Siddhanta of Srila Swami Maharaj. So each had much respect, much regard for the other, Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Swami Maharaj. And especially, of course, later on, in these early days, what would we see looking at the life of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj? He is a grihastha living in Calcutta. He is trying to do some business with selling ointments, and finally that was all went so badly that in the end he was simply making distilled water and selling that. Could not make a go of it with these different sorts of medicines that he was preparing and selling. So, although it was at the time very disappointing, it turned out to be a great blessing. And again, I think we all pretty much know the story. That business failed, but Swami Maharaj's sister, Pishima, told him, your real business is preaching, so why don't you do that? And this was also an observation of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Whenever anyone would enter Prabhupada's shop to purchase some medicine, instead of telling about the medicine, he was preaching to them about Krishna consciousness. He said, so then of course he wasn't successful as a businessman. How could he be? So, his sister recognized that this was his real love. You could say his ambition, I think, also was to be a preacher. And a sort of natural function of his. It seems to me that he was a natural preacher. That suited him very well. And so he wanted to take sannyas. He thought, well, if I'm going to preach, then I should accept the robes of a sannyasi. And discussed that with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Srila Sridhar Maharaj thought at the time he did not want to get into a conflict between husband and wife. Not only Prabhupada was friends with Srila Sridhar Maharaj, but his family also. He had a friendly relationship with the family of Srila Swami Maharaj. Srila Govinda Maharaj had friendship with Prabhupada's sons, and so he knew them very well, and it was a very close, intimate, affectionate relationship. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj advised him, if you want the mantra that is coming from me, then I have given that mantra to Keshava Maharaj. You can go to Keshava Maharaj, and you will get that mantra from him. And this way, adjusting things so as not to create too much disturbance. And he also said that he didn't know that Swami Maharaj was so serious and so intent and so urgent that he wanted to do this immediately. But then, of course, it was done almost immediately. And Srila Prabhupada took sannyas from Keshava Maharaj. And when I read about this in the Prabhupada Lilamrita, then I had an interest in taking sannyas, and I thought, oh, that person who was given sannyas to Keshava Maharaj, gave that mantra to Keshava Maharaj, and Keshava Maharaj to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. My Guru Dev disappeared in 1977. 4 years later, in 1980, I was reading this in Prabhupada Lilamrita and realized, oh, that mantra is still available from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and he is highly respected by my Guru Maharaj. And I don't know if I'm a fit person to receive sannyas, but this Vaishnava, who is the godbrother of my Guru, and who is very respected and exalted, if he thinks it is appropriate, then I can ask him. And if he agrees, then I can take sannyas from him. And much to my surprise, I arrived at his mat, meeting some other devotees from ISKCON, some friends of mine. We decided to meet there. I arrived one day, I think in the afternoon. I don't recall if it was morning or probably afternoon, because I took a train from Calcutta. And was met by a very humble and senior disciple of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Hari Charan Prabhu. He greeted me at the gate, although apparently much senior to me, immediately offered his obeisances to me, asked me, "Oh, you've come to see Guru Maharaj?" Yes, I've come to see Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Okay. And then I think he immediately arranged that I could get the darshan of Srila Sridhar Maharaj just for a few moments, the introduction, and I'd come and so forth. And I was given some quarters there, and the next day, morning, heard some discussion, talks, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Then, when that was finished, then I stayed to ask Srila Sridhar Maharaj my question. Maharaj, you're the godbrother of my guru. We have much respect for you. I am thinking to take sannyas. If you will accept me, I would like to take sannyas from your divine grace. And I thought, naturally, he doesn't know me, then he will say something after some time, you stay here, anyone recommend you or anything like that, something. But to my surprise, he said yes. I was very surprised. He said yes. Yes, he said yes. He said, but first stay here for some time, and then we will arrange it, something like that. So then I did. I stayed and stayed. Many things happened. We won't discuss all these things, but then that day came, and it was today, Friday. So when we were discussing when to have this function, I thought, I remember what what Srila Sridhar Maharaj said. Suddenly, I think on Thursday, he said, he called me and said, tomorrow I will give you sannyas. Tomorrow, I took sannyas on a Friday. That is an auspicious day. That was November 27, 1981, Friday, that we made the arrangements and took sannyas on that day. So, but today also is Amavasya. New moon is today, and it's a day auspicious for beginning new things. So, for that reason, also it is an auspicious day. So, at any rate, from that time, then in a fairly short amount of time, then all the qualities that I understood about Srila Prabhupada that made him, that caused me to see him as my guru, my spiritual preceptor. I was noticing that, those qualities, they are here with Srila Sridhar Maharaj in an indistinguishable way. And Srila Prabhupada said that how do you to know who is a bona fide teacher, who is teaching, who is a bona fide guru or teacher? I can't remember exactly what he was, his words, but he was talking about that. How do you know what is the real substance? That real substance, that something substantial exists. He says that quality that you revere, if you find that in another, then you must give your attention there. And he said, he gave the example that if you press the leaf of one tree, and you can smell that, you understand the scent of that leaf, then you understand that every tree whose leaf has that similar scent, it's the same tree. So I noticed that the Siddhanta, what I heard from Srila Prabhupada and what is given in his books, and which has come from his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that Siddhanta is fully alive and living with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And not only that, but his behavior and so many things that I observed told me that it is not only that he is familiar with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, but he is really a Mahabhagavat. He is the very embodiment of a devotee of Krishna. So then I had no hesitation in accepting him not only as my sannyas guru, but as Shiksha guru. And as Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, in India, guru is guru. Or whether Vartma Pradarshika guru, Shiksha guru, Shastra guru, Diksha guru, Mantra guru, Nam guru, guru is guru. And I saw Srila Sridhar Maharaj like that. He is my guru. Without any hesitation or anything, without any reservation. And this was, I was warned against this because my previous associates were very worried that the disciples of Srila Prabhupada would be taken by another guru, that they would be victim of losing their chastity to Srila Prabhupada by accepting instruction or guidance from another guru. So this question also we asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj about it. And, in a couple different ways it was asked, and a couple different ways it was answered, but one good answer he gave was, of course, he said, if it will take you down, then you must avoid that. But if it is helpful to you, if it is going to take you higher, then you should accept it. And Prabhupada's own speech about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Guru is one, Acharya is one. Why do you discriminate between your Acharya and my Acharya, our Acharya? Guru is one. So, where you find that substance, divinity, then we bow our heads. Where we find it, then we bow our heads. And Rupa Goswami, I remembered this verse also, came to me when I was thinking this so many years ago. Rupa Goswami directs us how to relate with such a person as Srila Giri Maharaj. The verse tells that if you find someone who is chanting Hare Krishna, then you should offer your respects to them. That is a very rare thing in this world. If someone is taking the name of Krishna, chanting the name of Krishna, then you should give your respects. But if someone is actually taking initiation from a Vaishnava guru, from a bona fide guru, then not only with respectful verbiage and gesture, but you offer your dandavats to such a person. You offer your obeisances to those who have taken Vaishnava initiation. But if you're fortunate enough to find that someone is of the highest standard of spiritual attainment, pure devotee of the Lord, then you should not only associate with him, but you should also try to serve him. So, by 1987, I was feeling like I was cheating Srila Giri Maharaj. But I'm taking so much from him, so many valuable things. By that time already we were listening to his tapes. Whenever I was going there, I was making tapes of his conversations. And Goswami Maharaj was also collecting tapes. Sagar Maharaj, maybe Akhananda Maharaj at that time, and others were making recordings, and we would collect as many of those as we could, listen to them as often as possible. And in one way, and I was having correspondence, sometimes sending telegram. At that time, the telegram was the quick, fast means of communication. And it was very costly. Just to send just a few words was, $20 to send just a very, 10 words or something like that to Navadvip. So if we had something urgent, we sent a telegram. Otherwise, we sent letters. And Sri Maharaj always responded to those. And so I was thinking, so much he is giving me, and also, if I want to do good for others, then the best good that I can do is to recommend them, if they are interested to take initiation in Krishna consciousness, then to recommend them to become the disciples of Srila Giri Maharaja. And then all these things combined, and I thought, if I can get some direct service, then he will be inclined to give me some more attention. So with that idea, the idea came that if I can establish a mat for him, Chaitanya Saraswat Math in New York, an important place, and there are some people like Krishna Balaram Prabhu who were interested to hear hear from Srila Giri Maharaj and to have some association with him, then if we can establish a mat for him in New York, then that would be a good service, and maybe I would attract some attention from him to guide me, because he would have a personal interest in it. Since it's his mat, then he will want to see that it's done properly, that I'm moving in the right direction. So I proposed that, and he accepted it, and as I said, he sent some brahmacharis and some ladies also to help me. One of those now, we just heard Divya Shakti Devi Dasi. Do you know Divya Shakti Krishna Bhavan? So she approached me when I was in India and said she wanted to come home, back to New York, and continue her seva of helping to establish the Mata Srila Maharaj here. So, we had some helpers, and one thing and another, but they gradually went in different directions, and the whole thing, responsibility fell on my head. And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj then Srila Sridhar Maharaj passed away in 1988. Before that, long before that, we knew the next Acharya, that he would choose Srila Govinda Maharaj as the next Acharya. And he told us, whatever faith you have in me, whatever sincerity you think I have, that you give that, offer that faith, your devotion, your help, everything, Srila Govinda Maharaj. He is qualified to receive it. He is qualified as the Acharya. So the way was clear. By some good fortune, it is not always so clear, but it was clear for us. After Srila Prabhupada, clearly Srila Sridhar Maharaj was the natural person to guide us. And after Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he made it very clear that there is one person that he entrusts with his mission, his devotees, his mats, etc., and that is Srila Govinda Maharaj. So we followed that, and as I found through some time, Srila Sridhar Maharaj became established in my heart as my guru. Then the same happened with Srila Govinda Maharaj. At first, I knew him, of course, from the Math. He was always there when we were there, attending to the duties of the Math and Navadvip. But I did not understand his exalted position. He was very friendly. He was always very friendly. I mean, always incredibly friendly. And so, we behaved like friends. He was much senior, much older, everything more established in every way than myself and my friends, but he behaved with us like a friend. Maybe an older friend, but very friendly. And from that friendship, then especially when he began to preach in the West, and I got to travel with him and have a lot of association with him, then again that transformation took place from respectable Vaishnava to Guru. That Srila Govinda Maharaj in every way is Guru of me. And Shiksha Guru. Officially Shiksha Guru. But as I already said, Guru is Guru. So what difference? So Guru is Guru. Mostly he didn't exercise his right as Guru. He had that right over me. Mostly he dealt with me as a friend. I told him one time on the phone that when I was calling from here, calling him in Navadvip, I mentioned to him, Maharaj, every day I'm offering incense to your photo. oh, why are you doing that? We are friends. Why are you taking that sort of action? So he showed that, but he also knew when it was necessary to for my help, and he asserted himself. When it was necessary to give some direction when I was wrong, when I was going off the track, and he asserted himself to make sure that I did not go astray. So that continued for so many years, from 1988 until just recently. "22 years, more or less." But of course, I knew him from '81, so quite a while. And we are told that we should not be very close to the Guru. We should be careful about too much closeness to the Guru, because what is that expression? Familiarity breeds contempt. There's a danger that you will begin to see him as an ordinary person. And doing that, then offenses will develop, because you will not maintain the proper regard. So we're told to be guarded, be careful, and don't get too close. Like, is it Icarus to the sun, or Icarus or something? Icarus. Don't get too close. You're flying high, but if you fly too high, then you get burned and you'll crash. But his personality was, Srila Govinda Maharaj's personality was so marvelous that I don't think I ever fell victim to that problem. And the reason, I think, is that the more I got to know him, the more association I had with him, then the more exalted he appeared to me. The natural tendency would be the other way. You would think, as you associate more with someone, then you will tend to see the faults or something like that. You tend to become irritated. I remember someone told me one time that about a woman, those characteristics which seem the sweetest when you're courting, when you're married, those will be the things which are most irritating.
I told you that.
You told me that. So that's the general tendency in relationships. It's in new relationships we see the wonder. We see the good qualities of the other. Because they're not showing their bad qualities. That's just natural. That you try to put on your best front to new people that you're meeting and associating with. But it never happened with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Those qualities which were endearing in the beginning became more and more endearing as time went on. Because they're the qualities of the Vaishnava. Like Srila Prabhupada said, you can chant Hare Krishna and never get tired of chanting Hare Krishna. Why? Because it's spiritual words, spiritual names. This has a spiritual quality. And the nature of the spiritual world it's dynamic, it's not static, it's not stagnant. It's rather vital, refreshing, effervescent. So that was certainly true with Srila Govinda Maharaj, that what were the things that were endearing? His humility, his tolerance, forbearance, the things, his strict adherence to the principles of Vaishnavism, his behavior always in line with the behavior of an exalted devotee, his fanatic adherence to the service of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, his guru, his devotion to the service of the devotees, the Vaishnavas. So many things that we are told these are the qualities of a Vaishnava. Well, they were endearing, in the beginning, and they continue to be his endearing qualities. What makes him dear to us? That he is really such an exalted devotee of Krishna. So, now he has disappeared. We celebrated his Tirobhav. I went to India to celebrate on the 10th day. There's a function to mark the disappearance of his divine grace. And just after that, learned that he had stated in his will that some of his disciples and some of the sannyasis of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, such as myself, Ashram Maharaj, and Janardhan Maharaj, would be acharyas of some different areas. Ashram Maharaj, Mexico, Janardhan Maharaj in SoCal, myself, we discussed. So, what to make of that? This is, it was unexpected, unanticipated. For me, it was unexpected, unanticipated. I never expected that Srila Govinda Maharaj would make an acharya of one who was not his disciple. Because he had spoken previously about how the succession runs, and he mentioned that it will go to the disciple of the Guru. So he named 3 disciples: Srila Acharya Maharaj in India, Srila Trivikram Maharaj in Brazil, and Srila Avaduta Maharaj in Russia. And that also, even that, was something surprising, because I had expected, and I think with reason and naturally expected, that he would name one acharya for the whole mission, the temples in India and the temples in foreign countries as well. So when I learned that Ashram Maharaj and Janardhan Maharaj and myself were also named by him, and in a way which was very direct, in each case he said, so and so will be acharya of such and such place. Then I thought, it is not a matter to dispensed with lightly. It is a weighty matter, of course. It was living in the role of Acharya for him and for those around him, affected by him. That is a weighty position. And thinking about what I would say today, I wanted to remember that when that Srila Govinda Maharaj, he was afraid of that position. He said it. He said it. He did not, he asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj, make it someone else. Give that to someone else, I will serve them. But that's not what Srila Sridhar Maharaj wanted. Srila Sridhar Maharaj wanted that service from Srila Govinda Maharaj. And acknowledging that, and acknowledging that Srila Sridhar Maharaj would have it no other way, then Govinda Maharaj accepted it. With these words, I am your goat, you can cut off my neck if you want. Whatever you want to do with me, I am yours. So, weighty remarks from a heavy person. Guru means heavy. Govinda Maharaj is a heavy personality. And that statement is a heavy statement. I am your goat. If you want my head, you can cut my neck. Take it. No problem. So he showed how we should respond. What the Guru wants, then we should give that to him. We should not consider ourselves, our body, our comfort, or anything. What is wanted by the Guru, then we should offer that enthusiastically, happily, and in the background, why? Knowing that whatever he does with me is better than anything I could do with myself. Not for me to consider to go left or right. If he says go left, then I go left. If that means I'm marching into danger, okay. And if going right means apparently avoiding danger, then it's still the wrong direction. Because we do not have the full vision. If we had that vision, then we would not need a guru at all. Right? What would be the point? So on that day, when Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave Govinda Maharaj his chair, and it was on the day of Srila Govinda Maharaj's sannyas, I was there, many sannyasis were there. There was a photo with a whole line of sannyasis standing across the roof of the Nath Mandir, maybe 15 or so sannyasis, mostly sannyasis of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Taken on that sannyas day was Srila Govinda Maharaj. So, Srila Govinda Maharaj didn't speak a long time like I'm speaking. He spoke very shortly. In 5 minutes, I think he was finished, maybe not even that long. He said a few things. What I remember, he said, I am the servant of the devotees. servant of the devotees. That is clear. So, that is the first thing. And still he is saying that. I saw a video in Italy from a few years ago. Srila Govinda Maharaj was saying that I am not thinking I am guru. I am thinking I am a servant of the devotees. So that's our experience with him from top to bottom. He is that honest, real feeling that I am the servant of the devotees. He said it hundreds of times, I think, dozens for sure. I've heard it. I am a servant of the devotees. So what is Acharya? Acharya is servant of the devotees. And what else? What else was Guru Srila Govinda Maharaj's charge? To serve Srila Gurudev, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Math, his mission, his deities, and his devotees. So that is our charge also. To maintain those things, to try to give nourishment, to protect. The main thing is to protect. So, it took some time, little time, for that to sink in with everyone, I think. Srila Sridhar Maharaj made Govinda Maharaj his successor. And I think that's a natural thing to expect. Some accepted it, most accepted it, almost everyone accepted it, as a matter of fact. A few could not accept it, because unfortunately they could not unfortunately, they could not believe what their guru was telling them. That is the fact. They could not believe that Srila Sridhar Maharaj wanted Govinda Maharaj to be the Acharya of Chaitanya Saraswat Math. So they could not follow that. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, anyone who cannot follow it, then they must leave their mat, and I have nothing to do with them. So again, not a small matter. Huh? So now, Govinda Maharaj has said to us, I want this service from you. Some of my godbrothers have advised me, rightly, that it is dangerous. You better think carefully before you go forward with that service. If you, it is not a small matter, and it is fraught with danger. Govinda Maharaj recognized that. I recognize that. I think we all, seeing my former godbrothers, my godbrothers, just leave it. That's okay. My godbrothers in ISKCON, many who became guru left their position. left their position mean they fell down from that position. They could not maintain themselves there. So, what is the danger? The danger is that. But then my question will be, and when does that danger not exist? By doing what will I avoid that danger? The danger is Maya? Oh, and there's not a danger now? Then their response could be, yes, it's a danger now, but it will be more dangerous. Because Srila Sridhar Maharaj says himself, what are the dangers? Pratishta. The first great danger, pratishta, that the guru will hear the laudations of his disciples and his followers and become of the mind that, oh, this is how much they have affection for me, how much they love me, how much they have regard and respect for me, and try to digest that for himself rather than remembering that this is all for his guru. All the honor, all the respect, all the things of this nature, they are not for the humble Vaishnava, they are for the guru of the Vaishnava. So, that's the first danger. And that's it. We acknowledge, yes, that is a danger. But, and the other danger, partiality, two things, deviation and partiality. You mentioned specifically. Partiality towards one's disciples, and what does that mean? That I deal more favorably with my disciples than I deal with my godbrothers. Ignoring my godbrothers, I shower my affection on my disciples, show my concern more for disciples than for the godbrothers. So that partiality, that's one danger, and very difficult to avoid because that what I mentioned before, the duty of protecting, the duty of the Acharya, the Guru, is to protect his disciples. So that means that's Vatsalya, that's parental relationship. And that parental relationship and that idea of protecting those who are dependent on you is very hard to be dispassionate about that. That is very attracting to a person. Here's someone who is my dependent, and here's someone who is my brother. He's not depending on me, but my child is depending on me. So ignoring the brother in favor of the child, something like that. So the tendency is there. It's a natural tendency, and it's helpful for the disciple. So it's a good thing. But if it gets out of hand, then it becomes a bad thing, because then you're ignoring the Vaishnavas, also the servants of your guru. You can't ignore them just to give favor to another. If you do, then you risk committing offense, Vaishnava aparad, and then that will carry you down. And then deviation, then we know what that is. Women, money, the tendency to collect money, to enjoy with women, to enjoy pratishta, to enjoy the fame which is given to the guru. So these of course are real dangers. But then, is there anything more dangerous? What if we have to pick between two things which are both fraught with danger? Then okay, we have this danger on this side. And what is the other danger? Oh, what Gurudev has asked me to do, I will ignore. What service, the duty, the charge he has given to me, the service he has requested of me, no, I don't accept that. Oh, why? It is too dangerous. Thinking about this a little bit yesterday, I was thinking that I am in the dress, this dress is the dress of a general, you might say. Sannyas Vesh. Srila Giri Maharaja described sannyasis like that, generals in the army. So we are supposed to be generals, and as generals, what do? What is our duty? To send others out to fight. Fight with Maya. Maya is exploiting everyone. You are being exploited by Maya. Go and save the fallen souls. Jeev Jago, as Mahaprabhu said. Everyone is sleeping. Kota Nidra Jao Maya. They're all sleeping on the lap of the witch called Maya. Snatch them away. Wake them up. Grab them. Tell them, my dear sir, you're in danger. You're in danger. Save yourself. How? Come with us. Oh, come where? Chant the name of Krishna. Serve Guru and Mahaprabhu, and you will be saved from this danger. That means a fight with Maya. A fight. And Srila Saraswati Thakur, from whom I am getting my idea mostly for what I'm telling you today, much of it. He said, well, that Srila Giri Maharaja said about him, he has declared totalitarian war against Maya and even all other religious conceptions. And the result of that totalitarian war? Oh, that he had to be protected from those who wanted to kill him. A Vaishnava so humble that when his disciples bowed at his lotus feet, he responded with Dasosmi, I am your servant. But the truth is a terrible thing. And the truth is what Saraswati Thakur came to tell. And we have also been given that charge. We are in the line of Saraswati Thakur. Then shall we send others for that job? And while we hide in the underground bunker? Oh, the dangerous work? You and you, go do that. You run out to the battlefield and tell everyone of this danger and fight with Maya, fight with illusion, while I am going to take a safe position. I will not be a party to that. I do not like that sort of duplicity, that hypocrisy. Whatever we will send others to do, we should be prepared to do ourselves. Otherwise, what right do we have to make that decision for others? But that is generally what we are doing as sannyasis, as temple presidents, as leaders in the mission. We're all doing that already. Go and collect, go and do book distribution, go and preach, do this, do that. Leave your homes, leave your families, join our mission. Accept danger, accept danger, accept danger. If you leave your family, they may disinherit you. Then you face the danger in your old age or something. Then you won't have that money to use for yourself. Will we not encourage people to do that? But if we do encourage, no, take the risk. Take the risk for your own life. To save yourself, that is a small risk. Yeah, you may lose your inheritance. You may lose your friends. You may lose your family. Who will not lose them? Who will keep them? Everything in this world will be burned to ashes. Nothing will be saved. Nothing, at some point, nothing will remain. But long before that, you will be gone. Right? You will be burned to ashes. Or buried or something. So we cling to those. So will we be safe clinging to those things? That means, no, I'm not going to make progress because I'm safe in my present position. And I just heard Srila Giri Maharaja talking about some of his godbrothers, that after the disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that they are taking sannyas. And he said, why? He said, because they want to continue with their progressive life. So is there some point where we want to stop? I've gone far enough. So Srila Saraswati Thakur, in this talk he gave, I think it was done on one of his Guru Pujas, I'm almost certain of it. And he's talking, you see this big, you're one man amongst you, he has taken a exalted chair, he is sitting in a higher chair, everyone else is sitting in a lower position. And naturally you must be thinking, oh, who is this beast from the zoo gardens? What a beastly, brutish man who will sit in the company of others in some exalted chair, while others are sitting in a lower position, and they are giving their jais to him. Jai Gurudev, all glories to Gurudev. And he is listening also. They're speaking their eulogies of him, and he is listening, and apparently he is pleased to hear those things. Oh, then what sort of arrogant beast is this? Naturally, that thought may occur. What an arrogant man. Like the story I tell of Srila Prabhupada. I'll make it short. Sitting on one little porch in Dallas, Texas. It was a hot day. He was sitting outside with some of his disciples talking. And a man walks by and he sees that they're fanning him with some big peacock fan. And he, stops and he's looking, and someone asked him, I think, "Do you have a question?" He said, "Yes, why are you fanning him?" So like we're offering the fan to the deities. Obviously, this is some big, this isn't just like, a utilitarian fan, right? This looks like some ceremony or something. Why are you fanning him? Srila Prabhupada said, "Tell them because it's hot." Well, this man was thinking, you're giving this person too much position. No one else is being fanned, but someone is fanning him. Why are you giving him some position like that? He must be some arrogant man. So, what to do with that? The Vaishnava is supposed to be humble. Srila Saraswati Thakur tells about the verse of Sri Rupa Goswami, Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tashe Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya. Rupa Goswami is saying, you are the most magnanimous, Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are the most magnanimous person in the universe. No one is more gracious, no one is more merciful than you. And you have the name Krishna Chaitanya. And you are non-different from Krishna himself. Saraswati Thakur is observing that, Mahaprabhu is listening to this, the praise, the unabashed praise, the highest form of praise that one man can give to another. You are the most magnanimous man in the universe. No one is more magnanimous than you. No one is more merciful than you. You are God himself. And Mahaprabhu is hearing that. And Mahaprabhu is teaching, Trinadapi, Sunichena, Tarodapi, Sahishnana, be humble, be tolerant, give respect to others, don't look for respect for oneself. Then, is this some sort of duplicity? What's going on? So, and Rupa Goswami is no small man. He is an exalted man. But if we do not glorify the Vaishnavas, then how will we make progress? The means of progress is to glorify the Lord and the devotees of the Lord. That is the necessity of our life. If we do not do that, then how will we make progress? But that means also that someone will have to accept that also. There has to be some medium for that. To glorify the Vaishnava, and who will accept that? Well, that is meant for the Guru. He must accept. But he will accept, or what? No, he will think, I am a servant of the Vaishnavas. This glorification they are offering, this is for my Guru Dev. Everything they are saying is perfectly suited to him. It is meant for him. They are saying to me, but it is meant for him. I know that. And so, when I was warned, be cautious, be careful, it's dangerous, I had some idea of that already, of course. Yes, who would not think that? But what is the alternative? I don't see the alternative. And anyway, I want to take some risk. Why should I not? Should I leave family, home, society, etc., to live as, to live an unchallenged life? Do we come here for that purpose? Any of us? Is that why we've come to this station in our life? So that we will not be challenged? So that we can retire? So that we can relax? So that we can live in the blissful sleep of the Brahma Jyoti, or to become the zero of the Shunyavads, the Buddhists. Oh, I want to become zero. We came for seva, service to Guru Gauranga, to Mahaprabhu. Then for that seva to have meaning, there must be some responsibility. Seva, what is seva if I'm not responsible? Oh, I can do something or not, as I like. Seva, the Lord wants something from me, the Vaishnava wants something from me, do or die, I will give it to him. And that is seva. Do or die. Govinda Maharaj said one time that he never told his guru he would try. Someone told him, he asked someone to go do something. He said, I will try. Govinda Maharaj said, I never told my guru I will try to do something. He said, I will do it. Yes, Maharaj. So, anyway, I am not a fit person, of course. I am not qualified in any way to do what is expected of me. I know that. If anyone wants to remind me of that, you're welcome to, but I would have to say that I think I know better than you how unqualified I am. Then the question is, then what are you doing, Maharaj? Then you admit you're unqualified. Then what is the idea with which you will proceed? And that I got from a couple of things of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and also from Srila Saraswati Thakur, who makes the same admission, fallen soul. And Saraswati Thakur answered it this way, that my Guru Dev instructed me, accept this charge. Yare deke tare kaha Krishna upadash amar agai guru onatara idash. Being Guru, instruct everyone about Krishna consciousness. And the danger? Oh, but that is so dangerous. And Mahaprabhu says further to Sanatana, no, you forget that. If you do that, not only you will be in a safe position, but I will be with you. That was Srila Saraswati Thakur's way of addressing this point. It is to get the mercy of Mahaprabhu. If you do this, then Mahaprabhu says, I will be with you in that place. So with that idea, and also Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave a few advices on this, that aham vedmi shuko veti vyasa veti na veti va. It is not for us to consider whether I have something or not to give. We will think, I have nothing to give. That is Vaishnava's thinking. So, how will I help others? I cannot give them sufficiently. My own store is depleted. What will I give to them who are coming to me for something? Aham vedmi shukaveti. Don't worry. Mahaprabhu's talking with Sanatana Goswamis. And he's saying, Sanatana, you are asking things of me, and I feel that something is being transmitted through me to you. I do not know what those things are. I do not know the value of those things, but I have some sense that something valuable is going through me, and you are receiving that. And why? Because of your sincerity. Because of your sincere inquiry, Krishna is fulfilling your desire. I happen to be here, and it's coming from him through me to you. So that's one point. And the other, put on the dress, wear the uniform, and the uniform will tell you what to do. Yes, are we beginning in space? Am I floating in space? More or less, yes. Floating in space. Where to put my feet? This thing, this service. Who will be Acharya? Oh, Srila Giri Maharaja, this and that. And my photo will go in the parampara. So, by their grace, they will. I have 3 great gurus. That is my great fortune. If we can get one great guru, we are fortunate enough. I have been very fortunate to serve and to have the association, and especially in the case of Srila Giri Maharaja, a great deal of association to see how he managed everything, how he did things, how he conducted himself. We are not all the same. We are not cut from the same mold. We won't do everything the same as another, but some very good guidelines we got. We'll follow that. And most importantly, with their blessings, doth God demand day labor, light denied? Am I being asked to do something, but behind it there is no support, no backing, no blessings of Srila Govinda Maharaj? I don't think so. He is not that. Not like that. He is a gentle man, a generous man. He is not a cruel man. He will not ask that I do some seva that he will not give his support for that. So, first thing is there. And next is the blessings of the Vaishnavas, all of you. Some of you, particular Gokulananda and Leela Sundari Devi, have been accepted the category of all risk, no gain a long time ago. They are risking many things to help me, and I don't know. I can say I don't know what they're getting for that, but sometimes I see that they obviously have gotten something. It is a miracle. Leela Sundari Devi, her loyalty to serve us, to serve this mission, Guru Gauranga, her chaste dealings, are a very remarkable thing to see, and always reminding me of that I must remember something about her behavior, how to deal with the devotees of our mission, devotees of the Lord. And Gokulananda Prabhu also always accepting responsibility for our mission. Whenever I try not to disturb him too much with the smaller things, although sometimes I do, but whenever any important matter arises, then he is always very responsive to that, and gives me the assurance that when the chips are down, he will be there to give his assistance. And it's been shown, he's been showing that for a long time now. He does our web page, and that's become a very important part of our preaching. Just yesterday, a couple days yesterday, we shipped 2 more books, Sermons of the Guardian Devotion, Volume 1 and Volume 2, plus a DVD of Srila Giri Maharaja, the Divine Dispensation DVD, to someone who we would have no knowledge of except through this website, a person from Epitaph Records in Los Angeles, working as a creative design, director of creative design, something like that, for Epitaph Records. So, out of the blue, through this website, he has gotten the inspiration to order a couple books of our Srila Maharaj. So many things like this. So many recordings we have, audio, video recordings. Anyone wants to know, I'm telling people now, you want to know anything about me, anything about our mission, just go to our website. Everything is there. Everything you need to know. If you want to know something about me, read the manifesto. That is, you read that, you will understand what I am. That is more or less what I have to give, what I have to offer is condensed there. And about Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of recordings, books, like the ones we just mentioned and so forth, and news of our mission, calendar, and to keep up with the Vaishnava festivals and so forth, so many things there. It was my deep longing for years, I don't know when it started, but many years to have a website, but had no one to do it. Then, more or less one day, Gokulananda said he would do it. And I said, all right, yes, that would be great. I wanted it for a long time, and then it started, and I think it's become one of the great resources of our mission, actually, because there's so much, it's like a resource library. So many valuable things of our mission are stored there, anyone can access them. So, and there's so many ways, all the ways are important. Gokulananda has shown his dedication for a long time. Balaram Prabhu, he's not showing himself so much for a while. But as Gokulananda read this article, he has some deep appreciation for us. And that is not a small thing to have someone's heartfelt support and appreciation is very encouraging for us. Krishna Balaram has been a friend of mine since that time that Gokulananda just read about. That was quite an adventure we had together. Quite wonderful time. And you know, as I was saying earlier about this thing, don't get too close. So I'm surprised that he still has anything to do with me after living in a trailer with me for some weeks. Very close quarters. So, by my fortune, he's continues to have some affection for this humble soul. So I could go on and on. There's so many things to say, but we've taken so much time already. And I think I've said enough. So, Jai Sparikar Shri Shri Guru Garanga Shri Shri Gandharvika Giri Hari Ju Ki Jai. And our deities also, Shri Shri Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giri Hari Ju, somehow have tolerated me forever, for such a long time. Cannot really offer the sort of service that they should receive. Somehow they seem to be accepting, and I could not have any other deities because the reason that have these deities is because service is supposed to be on the platform of Ragamarg. So it is not a demanding service that every half hour, every 1 hour, every some particular time, every day, something has to be done, or they will become angry with us. But they are happy to accept what we can offer in our small way. Seem to be doing that. Jai Sparikar Shri Shri Guru Granga Shri Shri Gandharvika Giri Hari Ju Ki Jai. All right, so with this, Leela Sundari, I'd like to now add my photo to this Sri Guru Parampara. Jai Parikar Shri Shri Guru Granga Shri Shri Gandharvika Giri Hari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Krishna Om Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Rakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Krishna Om Paramahamsa Bhagavan Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Math Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Krishna Om Paramahamsa Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupa Nidhi Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Sad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Anant Trikoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudhi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Jai International Preaching through the website of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, New Jersey branch Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Guru Math, Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jai, all the Acharyas of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, all the sannyasi vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, Samaveta Bhakta vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, Gaur Premanande.
Jai,
Gaur
Gaur.
Gaur.
Srila Bhakti Kannan Giri Maharaja ki.